Now it comes out. So now it comes out that Kyren Lacy was framed for this unaliving of 78-year-old Herman Hall. Now we know when that situation happened last year in December. They were saying that this man was a Marine veteran. They painted this picture of 24-year-old Kyren. Right, that he was, he was speeding, he jumped all these lanes, and then he ended up causing this big accident where there was an explosion and this man died. But now we got video footage, and this is the thing: they had the video footage for so long. What took them so long to bring out the video footage? Right, they never brought it out. Right, in the days of technology where you got cameras everywhere, you mean to tell me you couldn't get these cameras out? So it says newly released footage appears to challenge earlier accounts of the late former LSU wide receiver Kyren Lacy's role in the 2024 fatal crash. The video aired Friday by HTV 10 in Houma, Louisiana, was presented by Lacy's attorney, Matthew Ory, who says it shows Lacy's car traveling behind, not in front of the vehicles involved in the wreck that killed 70-year-old Herman Hall. Ory argues the footage contradicts initial findings from Louisiana State Police that led to negligent homicide charges against 24-year-old Lacy, who was found dead in April after police chase in Houston. Authorities said he died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound one day before LaFontaine Parish grand jury was scheduled to hear evidence in the case. During a 44-minute interview with H10, Ory shares security footage that he says shows Lacy's vehicle roughly 70 yards behind the other cars at the time of the crash. Moments later, Lacy's car could be seen approaching and driving around the wreckage. That is how the story was painted. Never, Ory said. The segment also featured the body camera video of Louisiana State Police trooper. This guy, Tyler Warren, appeared to instruct a witness on what to include in the written statement. Ory pointed to a portion of the official crash report from the district attorney's office. He said supported Lacy's defense, stating that there's no evidence Lacy should have known his actions caused the collision that occurred ahead of him. Right? The evidence submitted in the crash report does not support that Lacy should have known that his actions were the cause of the crash that happened approximately 72 yards in front of him, Ory said, citing the document. Lacy faced charges of negligent homicide, felony hit and run, and reckless operation of a vehicle in connection with the December 17, 2024 crash in Louisiana Parish. Investigators allege that Lacy attempted to pass several vehicles illegally. A pickup truck swerved to avoid him, causing a chain reaction collision that killed Hall and injured two others. Ory maintained that Lacy was unfairly targeted and said that the newly released footage supports his long-standing claim that investigators misrepresented his client involvement. His case calls for full transparent review of the case. Officials with the Louisiana State Police and LaFontaine Parish District Attorney's Office have not publicly commented on the new evidence released. So they had already had this evidence. They had already knew the truth, man. But again, they, down there in Louisiana, they do a lot of fraudulent stuff, man. But let's look at what happened when the news interviewed this lawyer and what the lawyer actually said. Check this out.
That's right. So Kyren Lacy's attorney says that he looked at every piece of evidence, including surveillance video, body cam footage, and the investigative report by the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office. During that interview shared with us by Houma TV, the attorney says reports between the District Attorney's Office and State Police do not add up. During a recent interview on Houma TV, former LSU football star Kyren Lacy's attorney, Matt Ory, says data and surveillance video shows Lacy was more than 70 yards away from a collision on State Highway 20 in Lafourche Parish that killed 78-year-old Herman Hall in December of 2024.
At the time of impact, he's 72.6 yards behind the vehicles at the time of impact.
Following that wreck, Lacy was accused of being at fault for the crash and turned himself in to state police in January on counts of negligent homicide, felony hit and run, and reckless operation of a vehicle. At the time of his arrest, Louisiana State Police stated that Lacy, who was driving a green Dodge Charger, illegally passed multiple vehicles, causing a vehicle traveling in the opposite direction to avoid Lacy by swerving and crashing head-on into the vehicle that Herman Hall was a passenger in. Ori says Lacy was too far away to have any effect on the crash.
Kyren Lacy did, in fact, pass 4 cars. There's no disputing that. Further north, Kyren Lacy passed 4 cars. However, he was back in his lane of travel, 92.3 yards. Back in his lane, behind Mr. Hall.
In a statement sent to WWL Friday night, Louisiana State Police said in response to the Homa TV interview in part, investigative findings revealed that Mr. Lacy's reckless driving while approaching oncoming traffic led to the events of the crash.
The very last line of the report from the district attorney's office says the evidence submitted in the crash report does not support that Kyren Lacy should have known that his actions were the cause of the crash that happened approximately 72 yards in front of him.
Ori suggests a state trooper was trying to influence one witness on how to describe the crash. But during that exchange, the witness involved in the crash can be heard blaming another driver who is not Lacy before the state trooper redirects the conversation to Lacy's Charger.
That lady in the back of me, she didn't saw what's happening. That's how she called that record. She was running in the back of me.
So, but the Charger was coming right at you,
Right,
correct? And that's why you had to slam on your brake, the head on with you. So, yeah, just make sure you include that, and that's very important.
Lacy, one of LSU's top wide receivers set to enter this year's NFL draft, took his own life with a self-inflicted gunshot wound in April.
To this day, formal charges were never accepted by the district attorney. This is over. There's no criminal proceeding.
Done.
This is about making a promise to a kid who begged you to help him.
And we are waiting for a response after reaching out to the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office about the investigation and that Homa TV interview. We also reached out to Matt Ori's office, and we are waiting for a response from him as well. Whitney?
So this thing gets real goofy because, like I said, you can see here where it says insiders reveal Louisiana troopers often swept misconduct under the rug to protect the department. Federal oversight and documented cases show a clear pattern of targeting and falsely accusing black men, making cases like Kyren Lacy's part of a much larger issue. Now these are things that's been going on down there for some time. But you see the police officer Tyler Warren, he was seen in the video coaching them and telling them what to do. So you had this one lady, Ashley Harden. She had already posted on Facebook where she said this young lady, Brianna Amani Gray, caused a crash which ultimately took veteran Herman Hall's life. Instead of taking responsibility, she lied and gave a statement painting the picture that standout LSU football player Kyren Lacy was responsible for the crash, causing him to be charged with negligent homicide. State Trooper Tyler Warren took Brianna's statement and did an investigation, coercing a witness and forging a witness statement, allegedly stating that a high-profile person was responsible. And that was the image right there. Brianna is posted all on Facebook, man. So when the news came, the news was showing images of him being arrested. They put up this picture. They had all kinds of pictures of this young man being arrested. They said that he had a high-speed chase, and then he ended up ultimately unaliving himself. Right? He wasn't brought in to the brought in for the draft. Like everything just caved in and crashed on him. But again, I keep saying, where was the footage? Where was the footage? We live in today's time where everything is on a computer grid. They got footage. What happened to it, right? So this guy was a standout player at LSU. He was 24 years old. He had his whole life ahead of him, man. And just like that, bam, because of racism. Now, how many times this has happened in this country, right, to black men where nobody cared because the media demonized him? Everybody said that he was guilty. They put that image of that 70-year-old ex-Marine, and this black man was guilty, right? Nobody cared. Nobody cared, right? They put mugshots. They put all kinds of stuff. Then they went and said body cam footage shows the trooper. Body cam shows the trooper telling the gold truck driver to say he had to slam on the brakes to avoid the Charger. The driver, however, blamed the woman behind him for causing the wreck when she swerved to avoid hitting his truck. On camera, the driver also said he wasn't going fast and left no skid marks. But this written report claimed he slammed on the brakes and emergency brake to avoid the crash. The body cam was turned off while he was doing the report. So this guy, this man Tyler Warren, he should be he should be brought into play. Now, this allegedly saying that his girlfriend went to LSU. She went to watch all the games while he was a cop out there, standing behind trees waiting to pull people over for speeding, right? Like, listen, this thing is real scary, man, real goofy, because it happens more often than you think. It happens more often than you think. And this cop should be brought up on charges. The DA's office, everybody has to answer for this, because they had the footage. They even had the witnesses. They still ran with this. They still ran with it. This woman, Brianna, she should be arrested, right? Because they saw the footage, but the same footage they got now, they had that same footage in December when this happened. They had the same footage, man. So now this young man is dead. His family is crushed, devastated. That family who lost the Marine who lost his life, they didn't care nothing about him or his family, because if they did, they would have told the truth and they would have honored that Marine veteran. But they dishonored that Marine veteran by lying, and now that family has to be brought back out to the limelight and be embarrassed, right? Right? All of it is this disgrace because of racism, man. And now somebody's dead and another family is shamed and embarrassed. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think about this, man. More of this got to come out, and something got to be done, man, because this is a disgrace. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Remember, I love y'all. Leave your comments in the comment section, man. And remember, like down in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, Georgia, Florida, all the Bible Belt states, how many times this has happened to a black man? Let me know what you guys think. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.